Hey everybody, this is the Facebook Ads with a Twang podcast. I'm your host Ben Blackman, and today I'll be answering the question, what is a Facebook exclusion audience and how do you use them? Hey, wait a minute, that's two questions. Anyway, here comes episode 27. Facebook Ads with a Twang is dedicated to taking the often overcomplicated process of creating simple, successful Facebook ads, breaking them down step by step in less than 10 minutes at a time. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 27, everybody. Today we're talking about exclusion audiences and how you use them. I'll talk about, how you implement them and that kind of thing. And if it's your head's already kind of swimming because you're thinking exclusion audiences, what does that even mean? Don't worry, I'm going to talk to you about it. I've also decided that I'm going to put together a video and maybe a checklist about how to use exclusion audiences. So if you go to the show notes on my website, you'll be able to get that. That's onefocusmarketing.com/episode 27. Again, that's onefocusmarketing.com/episode 27, and you'll be able to get that there. So right now I want to just kind of define what an exclusion audience is. And an exclusion audience is and I'm going to go through these in a little bit more detail in just a minute, but it is a custom lookalike or saved audience that you actually want to exclude them from being shown an ad. Okay, so meaning if you set up a saved audience, and if you recall, a saved audience would be like, say you were, defining an audience based on demographic, like, men ages, 35 to 75, who like the New York Giants or whatever it is, right? Then that you could save that audience and then select it later. So that might be an audience that you set up. Now, where do you set that up? Well, you set that up in your audiences section in the Ads Manager. So if you go to Ads Manager, then you can just select audiences and go there and set those up. It would also be any lookalike audiences and custom audiences. So let's just talk about what a custom audience is, just to kind of refresh everybody. A custom audience is an audience of people who already know who you are in one way or another. And that would be like people on your email list. So maybe you uploaded your email list. That would be video viewers. So if somebody viewed a video or a series of videos that you put out on Facebook, you can set up a custom audience based on those people. People who engage with your page, your business page, one way or another. Website visitors. So if you have your Pixel installed, and if you don't have your Pixel installed, please go back and do that ASAP. You may want to listen to my episodes on that. And then most common, or what happens often, are people who visited specific web pages, not just people who visited your site in general. So let's talk a little bit about why exclusion audiences are important, and I'm going to kind of give you a couple of examples of how to use them. But the reason they're important is because often you don't want to keep showing the same ad to somebody who's already taken a specific action. And let me just kind of give this example. So say you have a webinar and you've set up a registration page for the webinar, you've set up a thank you page for the webinar, and so somebody goes and they sign up. Well, you don't want to keep showing them the same ad. They've already signed up, right? They might be thinking, well, I already registered for that thing. Why am I still seeing that ad? I mean, that gets kind of old. So that's what you can do with an exclusion audience. You can exclude the people who've already signed up from seeing the ad again. Now, something else that you can do that's really beneficial is that they bought something from you, bought a specific product or something like that. So if they bought a product and you don't want them to keep seeing the ad for the product, then you want to exclude them from seeing it. It's a waste of money for one thing to keep showing the ad, but even beyond that, if people get irritated with it, it's a bad taste in their mouth about your brand, right? The fact that they see it, just in general, I mean, yeah, you don't want that to happen, and it does waste money to some extent. It really depends on how many people we're talking about, but the big thing is you just don't want them to keep on seeing something that they don't need to keep seeing. Now, something that might be a little bit more advanced for exclusion audiences is, say, for example, somebody visited your sales page and then they added your product to their cart, but they didn't ultimately check out. And so you're like, okay, well, I want to show the people who added the product to the cart, but they didn't check out, I want to show them a different ad. So you're going to want to exclude them from seeing the original ad that got them to click, and you just want to show them the other ad. So that's how you would set up an exclusion audience, excluding people who have visited that add to cart page. Okay, hope that made sense. And if it didn't, don't forget, I'm going to have the video for you that'll help you as well. So how do you set these up? Well, again, you set them up just like any other audience. You go to your audiences section in the ads manager and you set up a custom or a lookalike or a saved audience. And then once you're actually inside the ad set, which again, the ad set's where you define who you're going to send your ads to. There's a selection in there where you can either include or exclude an audience. And so you would just click exclude, whichever audience you don't want to see the ads. That's all there is to it. Now, one thing I will tell you is when you're setting up your audiences that you're going to exclude, if you know they're going to be used exclusively, see if I can say this, exclusively for exclusion, then you might want to go ahead and label it that way so that you can easily identify the exclusion audience. So a lot of times I'll put brackets around it and I'll type exclude and then the name of the audience. So exclude, add to cart or something like that. So that I know to select that. It makes it a lot easier when I'm going in there and clicking exclude in the ad set. So I hope that helps. And again, go to the show notes, One Focus Marketing, focusmarketing.com/episode 27. Check out that video. And, if you have any questions, you can always join my Facebook group, Funnel Strategies for Facebook, and ask questions in there, and I'll be glad to answer them. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you guys on episode 28.